I'm here. What's up, guys? Broken Prophet here. And I know you guys like, Prophet, where you been? Maybe you guys like that. Some of y'all really didn't care. But if you did, I'm happy to be back. I literally just got back in last night. I went on this road trip and, just went back home, visit family, had a good time. Y'all know I moved recently to Hoodoo Central 2.0. And so, I decided, hey, let's go back home for a little bit. Just for a little bit. Just a, brief overnight. See some family, see some of the old stomping grounds, stuff like that. And had a blast. Now I'm back. But that led me to this video, right? I had planned to just, vlog the entire trip. And guys, I've got a new lens, and that's why it's dark, because, well, not because of the new lens, but because I'm outside and the sunlight isn't working with me. So it's gonna be dark, sorry. But anyway, I had planned to vlog the entire trip and have like some awesome footage, stop at some places, and none of that happened. I got so caught up in just having fun that I forgot to pull my camera out. Went to eat at some awesome places up in Atlanta. Shout out to Fogo de Chao. Awesome place to eat. Awesome place to eat. They had no reservations. Seriously, they had no reservations, but they managed to squeeze your boy in. I'll just put it that way. All right, awesome experience. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about. Life is about experiences. And I know this is a Hoodoo channel, and I'm going to relate it to Hoodoo. Sometimes I've noticed with you guys, you get so caught up in the learning process that you forget that life is about experiences. It's okay not to work on Hoodoo every day. Go out, live some life. I talk to a lot of you, and I don't know, maybe I'll relate this story, maybe I won't. But I will say, when I talk to a lot of you guys, you're so caught up on the newness of Hoodoo that you're not out living life. You're sitting at home, you're watching videos. Thank you for doing that, by the way, with mine. And buying books and lighting candles. And you forget that the books and the candles and the Hoodoo is meant to make your life enjoyable. Some of you are not taking the time to reap the benefits of your own work. Guys, get outside, have fun. And if you are like me, with my failed vlogging, because I didn't pull my camera out, hey, sometimes you mess up. Start over. It's never too late to hit restart. Y'all know I like to talk about some stuff before I talk to you guys. And I really had no intro. Videos normally have an intro. Had no intro. I just thought I would say that because I really want you guys to live life. Man, get out. Have fun. Maybe you'll see that you don't have to do as much work. Now, I will say this. One thing that I did while I was back home, well, back in Atlanta, because this is home. This is home. But one thing I did do is restock my candles. And so since I did that, why don't we just talk about candles for a little bit? And maybe I can fix this whole lighting thing so I'm not all in shadow. Or maybe I should, you know what? How about that? Better? God. Y'all, I'm telling you, sometimes the simplest solution is the best one. Sometimes the simplest solution is the best one. Even with spirituality, sometimes the simplest solution is to just let life play out and not try to, muck it up doing some work. Food for thought. But I restocked my candles, so let's talk about candles for a little bit. Let me get set up. What's up, guys? All right, now I'm back. Now, today we're gonna talk briefly about candles because I have a surprise for you guys. But when I mention candles and hoodoo, 99% of you think about this thing right here. Don't lie and say you don't, because you do. Okay, and I use them. But, you know, I want to talk to you guys about how to get the most out of these. Now, you've seen my other videos where I talked about not overloading it, because a lot of you guys put too much junk in here. You put too much crap in here and it ends up burning and causing a lot of black smoke, and then you go, oh my God, look at all this black smoke. Yeah, because you put too much crap in here. Y'all drown it in oil. Y'all pack stuff in there. It looks like a confetti birthday cake and not a spiritual working. Some of y'all just bedazzle your workings. I gave this one lady a working where I told her, I said, just take a white candle, press some juniper berries into the candle. And as the flame burns down, every time that one of those juniper berries pops, a little bit of your man's will pop, and he'll start doing what you want him to do. Guys, she showed me a picture of her interpretation off of what I said. Remember, what I told her was, I said press the juniper berries into the candle wax. What did she do? She went and got her hot glue gun and just bedazzled it. It looked pretty. Everything all in symmetrical rows. And I said, who told you to do that? She said, well, Prophet, it was just too hard for me to press it up. Like, shoot, hard is not impossible. Just do it. Okay. And y'all sometimes will try to use your own interpretation of stuff when you don't know enough to remix something. So do the work as is given. And I'm telling y'all, stop overloading your candles. Now, the quickest and simplest way to get the most out of this is to put it somewhere where you will see it all the time. I know you guys think I and a lot of spiritual workers, we have this dark dungeon, cave-like room where all you see is like candles being lit and stuff like that. And sometimes we do. I have a room for my spirits, definitely. But when I'm burning a candle, especially one of these, right? We're talking specifically about screen printed candles. You will get the most out of your working by putting it somewhere where you will be looking at it a lot, like going in and out of a door. I burn these candles on the kitchen sink because I'm in there a lot. Why is that important? Now, it doesn't matter. Okay. These screen printed candles hold very little to no. I'm going to lean closer to no spiritual energy on their own. Do not think that because it says quick money, that's what it's going to do just because it said it. That half of a penny worth of screen printing holds no magic, okay? That 2 cents worth of green dye holds no magic. The magic is within you, and what happens is when you put this candle somewhere prominent where you're going to pass by it, well, you're going to see the flame, and just inadvertently, you're going to read quick money. That's going to like stimulate your spirit and remind it that's what I'm supposed to be working on. Because remember, there are 24 hours in a day. If we're lucky, we sleep for 8. That leaves 16 hours to do things that we want to do and get things done that we want to get done. Unfortunately, for a lot of us, you know, we live in this pessimistic world where we will light a candle and say a prayer, and then the remaining 15 hours and 59 minutes, we're stressing about the money. So it helps to, I'm sorry, y'all. I keep seeing something overhead. Oh, it's a buzzard. It's a buzzard. Cause I don't know if the camera caught the shadow, but there was a buzzard over me. But anyway, the reason it helps to have this in a prominent place is because you're constantly and subliminally reminding yourself of the work. And you're seeing it. So yeah, and you're like, okay, I know Prophet said I shouldn't worry about my bills. Oh yeah, my money magic. Yeah, let me go and make this sandwich. Oh yeah, the money magic. Let me go out and run to the store. Oh yeah, the money magic. So instead of doing that work for 1 minute and then stressing about it for 15 hours and 59 minutes, you keep vaccinating yourself more and more with the work. It keeps it prominent in your mind and mind, body, and spirit will stay in alignment. And remember, in order to get results from your hoodoo, mind, body, and spirit have to be in alignment. I promise, these doggone buzzers over here, something done died around here. Huh. But anyway, I told you guys my return video is going to be very short. Think about what I said. Don't overload your candles, and place these in a prominent place so that you're constantly walking past them. Hoodoo dog, what? Anyway, let me try to set up this surprise for you guys, and we'll go from there. Yeah, that joke is such a pain in the butt. All right, guys, so here's the surprise. All right, if I can get the camera to focus. All right, the famous Mr. J came back. I know, Lord, and I'm trying to film this, but Mr. J is one of Hoodoo Dog's favorite people, and I can't get him to leave us alone. But I know, and there's our other friend barking.
Do I need to take him, put him in the pen, baby?
No, he's fine. He's fine. Yeah, maybe maybe he came out. Yeah, just let him out. He'll be all right.
You think he'll be all right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he ain't gonna do nothing but jump. There. That's our other friend out here.
So as long as he know I'm here.
Right. But guys, listen, I know you guys have been asking, y'all have been, well, when is Mr. J coming back? Because y'all want us to do the live, and we were gonna do the live, but like a lot of stuff came up. But I'm gonna tell y'all what came up. Mr. J is very famous down here. So famous that it was like, well, you gotta protect him now, don't. You know who said that? Yeah. You gotta blur. That's why y'all can't see his face now, and why I had to blur it out, because I'm like, okay, fine, I'll blur it out, stuff like that. But he came back by. Hopefully, I can get him to help me insulate my shed back here where I have my snakes and stuff, because y'all, Mr. J can do just about anything and everything. Some people call him Mr. Fix It. Because you're always fixing something.
Oh, yeah. You name it and I can fix it.
Yep. But
yep, that's my trade.
Speaking of fixing, because y'all, let me tell you, Mr. J and his family, when I came down, they were so welcoming, showed me around, and, really helped me to settle in down here. Showed me what parts to stay away from, where they still, we in the deep south, so there's still some parts they still don't cotton to us. down here.
Oh yeah.
They like, hey, you might not want to go around there, but y'all know I'm a knucklehead. I'm around, walking around, waving at folks, and they looking at me all funny. Yeah. But yeah, Mr. J knows everywhere, and everybody around here knows him. So we're gonna keep him hid for a little bit. But until, we want to get him on camera more, I'm thinking we'll do like a radio show.
Yeah, that's good.
We'll do like a radio show. But speaking of working with his hands, Mr. J was telling me this story about a barn. And I thought he built a barn because he built a lot of stuff around here. But his dad built the barn, and I showed y'all a brief snippet. But I love hearing Mr. J's story. Mr. J, you tell him about the barn.
The barn did they see the barn? No, they didn't see it, did they?
Well, not yet, but okay. That's like a little teeny bit.
Okay. The barn that we about to discuss, back in the back in the days when I was a small kid, I was around about, I would say, between 3 and 4 years old.
Look, whenever we try to do something, look, they can still hear us though. There's the trash truck coming down the dirt road, y'all.
And my dad would take me to work with him when he was building that barn. And one day he took me with him to the barn, and he took me and put me up on the shelter of the barn. He was installing the shelter, putting metal tin on it, and he set me up there on the shelter. And by me being so small, the sun was shining. It was early that morning, somewhere between 8:30 and 9. The sun was burning my feet due to the tin, and I started crying. And Daddy said, all right, if you cry, I ain't gonna bring you with me to work no more. And as I growed up and started thinking about that, and I started following him after I got 15, 16, I had to go to work then. I started thinking, I said, I sure hope Daddy would say that now, that I don't have to go to work with him, but he wasn't gonna bring me to work with him no more. But that was over then, you know.
Oh yeah, by then, you know, if you'd have cried then, he wouldn't have made that offer no more.
No, he wouldn't have made that offer no more. See, I cried when I was 2 or 3 years old, but when I got up bigger, 15, 16 years old, I said, well, you think I can cry now? And he said that.
He said it again. Oh.
But that barn is yet standing from, I believe I got a little history on it. I think that barn near 70, around 71 or 2 years old, and it is yet standing.
It's still standing.
And my dad, he passed on and gone, you know, but I'm yet here, and there's a lot of memories in that barn that I like to go back and see, because back in the days when that barn was, we used to cook tobacco in it. And by me being a small kid too, well, I was up and around 14 or 15 years old then, I had to sit up to that barn all night long by myself. Because we had to cook tobacco with wood. We had a wood furnace done. And so I had to sit up all night and keep that temperature around 80, 160 degrees so that tobacco could cure out. Shoot. And so one night I was there by myself, and I was told, you know, we had a bench, you know, that I could stretch out on and take me a little nap. And somebody told me, said, if you fall asleep, so I'm going to tell you what to do. Say you get a brick in your hand, if you lay on your back on that bench and hold that brick in your hand and hold your hand out and put a piece of metal down there, and say when you fall asleep, that brick will fall out of your hand and wake you up. Sure enough, I fell asleep, the brick fell out of my hand, and I was about a mile or 2 miles from home. When that brick hit that tin, I strutted out home. I mean, I was gold. I run home. I said, Daddy, somebody throwing bricks at me. Somebody throwing bricks at me. He said, bricks at me? He said, let me go over there. Let me go over there and see what's going on. And my daddy, he got in his truck and he tucked me back, you know, and he said, where the bricks at they throwed? I said, there it is there. He said, there's a piece of metal tin right here by the brick. He said, what? I said, oh, my Lord, Daddy. I said, I'm sorry.
That was your brick?
I said, that's my brick. I said, I fell asleep and forgot. I thought that was somebody throwing
Lord, Mr. J done threw a brick at himself in his sleep.
Yeah, in my sleep. You know, I had forgot I had the brick in my hand. And when it fell out of my hand, it hit that piece of metal tin and woke me up. You know. And I strutted out. It didn't take me long to get home, you know. No.
Lord have. You know, I think we've all done stuff like that, especially because, like, when you first waking up, it's hard to get your bearings. Let alone you 14, you working.
Oh yeah, I was around 14, 15 years old, you know, and then back then, you know, it wasn't no age limit on us working then, you know. Really, I started working when I was 6 years old, plying a mule, driving a tractor, driving a truck, you name it, I could do it. My daddy was a contractor. He went out of town to work. He would leave me in charge of the farm and everything in the store. We run the store. You know, always, you know, since Daddy left me in charge of all that stuff, back then, I thought I was 40 years old then. You know, I was doing man
I mean, you
stuff,
were doing grown man work.
I was doing grown man stuff. When I got out of school, about 15 years old or 14, Daddy said, you get the truck and go around and pick up hands and take them to the field. There was cotton they was picking, you know, and I take them to the field, you know, to pick cotton after school, you know, and all, and they worked there to about, I would say 6 o'clock, you know, and Daddy left me money to pay them off, you know, and all, and once they got done that evening, I would weigh the cotton up, you know. Well, we were paying them 3 cents a pound then. That was a lot of money back then, you know, and all. I weigh it up, you know, and I pay them off, you know, and I take them back home. Next day, you know, if they wanted to come back to work that evening after school or whatever, you know, I go and pick them up again, you know, and bring them back, you know, and all.
Now was that when you had your license? Was that before your license?
That was before I had my license. Now, I was driving the truck. My daddy had 2 or 3 big old farm trucks.
Y'all listen to this story about Mr. J getting his license.
My daddy had 2 or 3 big old farm trucks, and I was driving them before I was old enough to drive them. You know, like I was driving when I was 6 and 7 years old. Then I grew up to be about 15 years old, and my daddy had to go out of town on a job. He said, now, what I need for you to do now, he said, when you get 16 years old, he said, you go up there and you get your license. I said, yes, sir, I'll go up there and get them. And the day that I turned 16, I went up to the courthouse, and I sat down and I took the test and I passed it. And the state patrol said, okay, let's go out there and get your vehicle. We're going to give you the driving test now. Went on outside, you know, and the state trooper said, he said, where's your vehicle at? I said, right over there. It was a big truck, you know. He peeped over the hood of the truck. So on the other side of that truck over there. I said, no, the truck right there. He stopped and swallowed loud, you know. He said, you driving that right there? I said, yes, sir. I said, I'm driving that. He said, well, if you driving that, he said, I don't know no need to give you no driving test if you can drive that. But he said, well, get on in the truck, you know, we'll drive down the road, and, you know. I got in the truck, you know, and he looking at me, you know, writing, you know, and it had 7 or 8 or 10 gears in it. You know, we headed down the road, you know, and I'm getting them gears. He looking, you know. We got about a half a mile up the road. He said, turn around. Oh, I said, Lord, I done messed up. Now, he said, turn around. And let's go back. And I turned around, you know, and went back. He said, get out and come on in here. I went on inside, and he sat down, you know. He said, well, he said, you got your license. He wrote them out, you know, and signed them, you know, and all. And I was so proud of them license. I'm going to tell you this too. I was so proud of them license, you know, and he gave them to me to sign, you know, and I signed them, you know, and all. And I ain't thought no more about it. The license back then was like a postcard. Mm-hmm. I signed it, you know, and, well, when they got to Atlanta, you know, they sent the license back, you know.
Right.
What I mean, what had happened, I was so glad I got my license. I had signed where the governor's supposed to have been signed.
Wait a minute,
you know.
wait a minute.
I had signed where the governor, say, do y'all have a new governor there or what? Then I had to do that part all over, you know, where I had signed where the governor's supposed to have been signed that and signed in my appropriate place, you know. But,
Lord.
But I tell you, it was a time back in there, you know, y'all. I'll tell you.
Now, I have a question, because I remember you would tell me about this before. You drove up there.
Yeah.
To get your license.
Yeah, I drove up there.
With no license.
With no license. Yeah, that's the next part, you know. I drove, you know, I'm telling you, I wasn't even thinking. I wasn't old enough to think. I don't reckon. I had the nerve to drive up there to the state patrol's place, no license. Got out just as proud, you know, going in there, you know, and all. Get my license, you know, and all. And after I went through them procedures, you know, I started thinking, you know, I said, you know what? I said, no wonder the man looked at me funny. I said, he could have locked me up in jail driving up there with no license.
A truck that big.
A truck that big. You know what? I said, that's why he was looking at me like that, you know. Like he said, well, I reckon he okay, you know.
Lord, have mercy.
Well, I tell you, you know, to say that, we do a lot of things without thinking. You know, I was just rejoiced that I was getting my driving license. I wasn't thinking, you know, nothing, you know, but surprising, Daddy would have come home and I've been sitting up in jail, you know. But
that would have been double bad.
That would have been double bad. Yes, sir.
Ooh,
but when Daddy did come home, he was proud I had them license because he had been sending me on long runs then. Now.
But you finally legal now.
I was legal. He was sending me out going up in Tifton, somewhere picking up different stuff, you know, and all. And so I was the main man then, you know, and all. So.
Do y'all see why I can sit and listen to Mr. J for hours? You know, that was a good stretch there. Every morning we were sitting having coffee for about an hour or two. Yeah. And I just listening to the stories. You know, a lot of folks, they'll ask me, well, you know, can I teach them root working and whatnot? And what class can they take? I'm like, there's classes now, but you know, most of them, you know who teaching a lot of the classes out there now, right. and writing the books and stuff.
Yeah, I know.
But I always tell them it's so much root work if they just go to a senior center, you know, in the black side of town, and just sit down and talk to the folks.
I know, yep. If
Shoot.
they would do that part, you know.
They would learn a lot.
A whole lot.
You hit me to a lot of stuff. I was going the long way around in some of my workings, and then y'all, Mr. J was like, well, why don't you just go here and there? You showed me where the rattlesnake root was, right over there in the field.
I got plenty of rattlesnake roots around here, you know what I mean? You know, I don't have to go nowhere to get the rattlesnake roots. We grow them. We got acres of them here, you know, and all, and so
some of everything around here.
Yep. So Kevin come down, you know, I can show them whatever they need or whoever they need, you know, 'cause I've been in this line of business a long time.
Ain't that the truth? For the longest, you up under the radar. Everybody, from what I hear, everybody down here knew you know what they say, knowed some stuff. But whenever they'd ask you, you kind of, well, I don't know. I don't know much about this, but I heard tell.
Yeah, I heard tell.
If you,
I wouldn't come out exactly, you know, and you know, getting in things, you know, you have to be a little careful how you tell people, explain things to people, you know, 'cause some people take things the wrong way, you know.
Yes,
so you just have to be a little careful, you know, and all. And so I learned in my coming up, you know, about roots and different things like that, you know. And if anybody needed anything done, you know,
there's always a way.
There's always a way that can be done and worked out for them, you know. But a lot of people, you know, say it don't work. But I tell you, it's two parts of that working. We got to work and they got to work.
Amen.
It's not one part thing now. A lot of people, you know, oh, that didn't work. Well, what did they do? What did you do? Did you put force and effort?
That's half the problem right there, Mr. J. I run into that so much where, like, say, because, you know, this the time of the year that, you know, a lot of people call it cuffing season because, you know, the weather start getting cool. People lonely. They want to go handcuff somebody they can cuddle up with. So I get a lot of requests for that now. And there was this one fella, you know, he kind of cottoned to the lady at his job. And he was like, Prophet, I want to go out on a date with her. I said, well, you know, that's doable. So, you know, I did the work for him, and a week went by, and they still hadn't gone out. And I thought that was peculiar. I mean, you work with the woman. I mean, that's kind of easy to bring them two together. But after a week, nothing. After 2 weeks, nothing. And I was like, wait, y'all ain't went out yet? Nope. I said, well, what did she say when you asked her out? He said, Prophet, you didn't tell me I was supposed to ask her out.
I know.
I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
Two parts.
It's two parts now. It's two parts. And it's just like when like say the husband run off and the wife want him back, or the wife run off and the husband want her back. You know, we bring them back, and as soon as they walk in the door, they cuss them out and they leave again. Then they want to tell us, doggone it, that didn't work. Like, wait a minute, I shouldn't have to tell you to be sweet.
I know. You know, I'm gonna say this too. And you know, a lot of people, you know, they would come and in this root line of work, you know, and want a sweetheart and this and that, you know. And once they get them back, you know, and all, they satisfied. But it works on a little down the line that something else happened, you know, and they'll ask some questions. Say, well, what did you do? I didn't do nothing. We said, well, you got to do something to keep them. We said, well, do you take care of them? Do you give them any money? No, I don't give them no money. I said, well, see there, that's what you lost. That's the
problem. That's the problem.
You know, that's the problem. You know, so you got to, it's a give and take thing. What I tell them, you know what I mean. You know, people look for something for nothing, but it don't come that way. It don't come that way.
Y'all, Mr. J always has had me rolling, because that's one thing we agree on. Women run off of two things: compliments and money. You gotta give him a little bit. You gotta give him a little bit of money now.
If you don't give that,
You gotta give him a little bit of money now.
Oh.
You know, I don't care if it's just a little bit. Like, here, baby, go get your nails done. You gotta do.
You gotta do something. You know, that's what goes on. You know, me running around the house. My dad got the shotgun at me. You don't want that.
Oh yeah.
You know when I tell you, my dad. You know, when I was gonna get a whooping. You know.
Oh yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one.
You know, and I'm gonna relate this to y'all too. You know, when I was a kid, I used to be the turbulent little fella that I thought was in the world. Y'all listen to this. You know, my mama, I was too small to follow Dad to work at my young age, you know, and I was around the house, you know, and me and the other siblings, we would get to fighting and this and that, you know, and all, and Mama would take care of the girls, you know, she would paddle them real good or whatever, you know, and Mama said, you wait till your daddy come in. He gonna take care of you. I said, Mama, go ahead and take care of us now. He be tired when he come in.
I want none of that daddy whooping.
She said, no, your daddy gonna take care of you. And when daddy come in, you know, he go out there and get a gallberry switch, or axe hound would do too, you know. Back
I
in
don't
them
mind
days.
it. You know, now if you just breathe on kids, they fall over.
They fall over. But now I was just as scared of a whooping that people was a rattlesnake. When Daddy called me to come get my whooping, I take off. I run all the way around the house, up the road. And one day, my daddy got tired of that. He said, y'all go in there and get my shotgun. I said, oh, Lord, I'm dead. Oh, Lord, I'm dead. They get that shotgun, and I run faster then. I mean, through them woods, jumping briars and all like that. And Daddy, I assumed back then I thought he was shooting at me, but I think he was shooting up in the air to try to make me stop. He said, boom, boom. I get faster.
Look, you switched in a new gear like that truck.
Yeah. Woo. I'll tell you. And later on, I had run down by the pond. I was sitting down there. I was gonna spend the night there because I thought Daddy was gonna kill me with that shotgun. So Mama come down there a little before sunrise. You better come on to this house here. I said, Daddy gonna shoot me, kill me. Your daddy ain't gonna shoot you and kill you. I said, well, you gonna have to come get me, Mom, because I ain't going back up to that house.
I ain't going willingly. Look, you gotta take me by force. I'm not surrendering at all.
No, I didn't surrender. Mama had to come get me.
Boy.
Now that was a time back then, you know.
But like I said, nowadays you breathe on kids, so you look at them crossways, boy, they fall out.
Oh yeah.
But the Bible speaks about that. Every generation getting wiser and weaker.
Yeah, every generation, but
they smart as attack now, but they soft.
But back in them days, you know, it wasn't no limit what you whoop a kid with. Axe hound, broomstick, or whatever they can pick up, you know, and that's what they. That's what you got.
My mom was bad with shoes.
Yep.
Well, she'd grab a shoe, and I think back on it now, my mom would use a flip-flop, like a house shoe, which a flip-flop make a loud noise, but it don't really hurt you. But when you a little kid, you you thought she was lighting you up?
Oh, yeah. That was back in the days, I'm telling you.
Back in the days.
But all those days is gone now. You cannot. They call that child abuse this day and time. You know, you can't do kids like that anymore. You know, if you do, you go into prison.
You going to prison now.
Sure is.
That's why a lot of them act so bad now. They know, you know. Now little kids will call the police on their parents.
I know.
Oh.
And I'm gonna tell them about this whale dude. I feel a little whale. I'm gonna tell you about this. You know.
Yeah, you know, I think we should say that for next time.
Next time, okay.
Oh yeah, we're gonna say that for next time. But I know a lot of y'all been asking how to get in touch with Mr. J. I'm gonna find out a way, because I'm not gonna give out his phone number because y'all won't let him sleep. And Mr. J gets up by 4:30 in the morning every morning and work all day. The workingest retired man I ever met. Work all day. But I think I do have a P.O. box if y'all want to write him a regular letter, and then, you know, send it to the P.O. box. And then what I'll do is try to come up with, say, an email address. But anyway, if y'all have a message you want to pass on to Mr. J, feel free to do it through the text line or through the website, and definitely pass the message on. But I think people enjoy this podcast. This radio show we do.
Oh yeah, I think they enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Because y'all, he has a bunch of stories.
Oh yeah,
a bunch of them.
Out of the years that I come up, and a lot of memories and all that goes way back, and everything. A lot of things people don't realize what went on or happened, and that's what is feasible to talk about. I could talk about it, and that's what I don't need to talk about. I won't talk about that.
Well, maybe we can get them to whisper about it.
Yeah.
We don't talk about it. Maybe we get them to whisper about
it.
Shoot. But y'all, keep a watch out. I'm gonna keep on talking to this one person to see if we cannot blur Mr. J's face out. Just have him on here. But until then, keep an eye. If we do a live, just know Mr. J will be off the camera, but y'all will be able to hear him if we do a live, because I cannot blur a live video. All right. But anyway, Mr. J, I was thinking about making a run up to Lowe's, and maybe we can figure out how to lay that insulation inside that shed.
Oh yeah.
And whatnot.
There's a way, there's a will.
I know. And then maybe you can find a way to y'all. This is an inside joke. Y'all not gonna get it, but I always say Mr. J will be the first person that'll come up with a way to stop a well from leaking. And if any of y'all out there are on well water, y'all know what I'm talking about about a well leaking, because it always leaks.
It always leak.
It always leak. That's how you know you got water, at least, because it's always leaking.
If the pump ain't leaking, you ain't got no water.
Right. All right, y'all. All right, so we're going to get this video edited. Thank y'all a whole lot. Thank you, Mr. J, for coming by. One of many, many more times to come. And I'm going to stop rubbing this dog. Y'all, Hoodoo dog, if y'all saw my hand moving, it's because I had to rub this joker the entire time to keep him still. Otherwise, he'd try to climb in Mr. J's lap with his big old self. But thank y'all for tuning in. And let me get this edited. And shoot, let me know how y'all like it. Give me a thumbs up or whatnot. And Mr. J, I always say it like this: if you feel the need to sow a seed, please do it through the Cash App. And if it's for Mr. J, because a lot of y'all did that the last time, which was great, just in the notes section of the Cash App, just put for Mr. J, so I can show him, this is how much you made, run up to the ATM, do whatever I got to do, get it over. All right. And also, I'm going to add some stuff for you to the wish list. And let everybody know what on there is for you. It's probably gonna be tools, because Mr. J has enough tools. The doggone, he can open up. He can open up a Home Depot.
Ooh, I have the tools.
Yeah. But we'll put some stuff on there. But all right, y'all, that's it. We're gonna let these dogs run free, because Mr. J's little dog and Hoodoo dog, well, they now starting to like. My dog, Hoodoo dog, loves to play. Mr. J's little dog, well, he's sometimes a grumpy little fella, because he's only 13 pounds and Hoodoo dog is 80. So he don't know that Hoodoo dog trying to play with him. He think he trying to attack him, and Mr. J's little dog will run up, and he done bit Hoodoo dog on the nose before. Funniest thing. But all right, y'all, we'll see y'all next time. I think I'm gonna try to go walking up the road, get some footage there, and try to dial this lens in so that it's not as dark next time. But thank y'all so much. Y'all have a good one. God bless.